Hello and welcome to Burning Questions. Happy Easter to everybody. And Andy Gath has already had his first crack at me off air. I mean, it was a wasted crack, unfortunately, Andy. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, Jason.
And before we get stuck into Burning Questions, we've got a newbie with us, Bailey McDonough. And look, occasionally in recent weeks, a couple of times, I may have had a little dip about a couple of aggressive drives, Bailey, but the truth is this is a psychological safe space. I want you to feel good here. I want you to feel light on your feet. I want you to feel happy. So we're all good, yeah? We're good.
Yeah. No, we're good for now. Just no jabs.
We'll see how it goes the next 20 minutes, I guess. Let's welcome in our sponsors. Whether you're celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best. And you do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. They have you covered. Clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. First question, and probably the most critical of the four. Has the old boy McLovin got just one more prep to give, please, Andy Gath? Because I even wrote in the form comment, first time I've ever done it. I said, I can't really tell you until you watch Burning Questions. So give us a 411.
Well, I haven't watched Burning Questions yet myself, so I can't really know. But again, he's been a great old campaigner. We know how good he goes first up, so that's why we don't trial him. Probably last preparation probably showed he's not quite as good as he used to be. He's probably lost a little bit of zip in his legs, but we're quite confident that he's going to lead in this race and he's going to give him something to beat. Last two times he led, it took two quality horses to beat him in Wobbly and Mary Law. Mary Law just got him right on the line. So, he seems very well. He's working really good. He seems well within himself. Soundness-wise, he seems well. So I expect him to perform at his best, and that's at his best now of being a 9-year-old, not at his best being a 6- and 7-year-old.
I think in a way, and you're to blame me, Randy, that it's a crying shame you had he and Tornado Valley at the same time. Same trainer, because he's always been unfavourably compared. But I'll tell you what, having watched all three codes of racing for a lot of years, I'm 97 now. The Queen's going to send me a message in 3 years. I don't think I've ever seen a racing animal with a greater will to win than McLovin. He's just been the ultimate warrior.
No, he is. He really tries his guts out, and when he gets beat, he sooks about it. He just, he's a great trier, and you got to admire him for that. Obviously, he hasn't got some of the natural ability of some of the other trotters, but he's just been a great warrior, and you got to beat him. So if he leads, they've got to beat him. They might get close to him, but when it comes to war, he just loves fighting them off. So you can never rule him out being a winning hope.
I'm going to ask you a typical Bon ridiculous arbitrary percentage question. How much speed has he lost, would you say, from his best days, if you had to rate it in percentage terms?
Yeah, it's probably, it's hard to relate in percentage terms, but he's probably lost half a second per quarter, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was ridiculous. I already told you that, Andy. I don't know what you want me to do. Bailey, you're up, mate. This is your first response in the Burning Questions. And I'll tell you what, all Andy told you is he'll go well. So he hasn't declared he'll win or that he'll get beaten. So we need an answer from you, please, brother.
Oh, well, I think Andy's a very good judge, so his opinions goes a lot further than mine. But, I think last prep he was still pretty good, and I didn't know the horse before that. I went back and watched a few replays, and like Andy says, he's probably lost a little bit of motor, but, he probably still got that will to win. So if he was able to get to the top, as Andy suggests, then he's probably going to take a lot of beating.
You in the panic room? It's totally unfurnished. Is this where you get
the spare room
corner?
No, it's the spare room, yeah.
That's how well Bailey's going. He's got spare rooms all over the house. He can go to any time. I don't need them. I just got 7 bedrooms. I don't need them. Skeeter, your thoughts on McLovin? I think we've discussed this already on the Thursday, Friday form panel. But we suspect that maybe that little bit of speed might be critical.
Yeah, look, it might just tell later. I think we both agree that he'll be able to bully his way forward, find the top, and he's going to be in front for a long, long way. And as we know, we've come to love about McLovin. He looks gone, but he just keeps digging, keeps finding. And I just think a horse that's race fit and racing in terrific form like Sundown's Courage might be able to nab him late. Even Wobbly's there and draws the front row. So, look, he's been such a fantastic horse for a long, long time, and hopefully we can see him pick up a few good races this preparation. But first up, I just think a few of the race fit horses that are going really well might just grab him late here.
Is this his last campaign, or are you unwilling to declare that, Andy?
I'm guessing it'll be his last campaign.
Are you better hydrated now? And I saw you take a suck of the water. Are you feeling better now? You a bit hydrated?
Yeah, no, I'm a lot better now. Took a bit out of
Skin's
me here off there.
Right. Question 2. The burning questions is brought to us by the Fresh Connection. They export Australian fresh fruit, not stale, to more than 35 countries. How do they do it? Headed up by Damien Glengarry. He's the export manager, by the way, and he's doing a ripper job. The Fresh Connection specialise in citrus, table grapes, cherries and mangoes. Freshconnection.com.au. And for all of our new guests, we asked them, Bailey McDonough, what's your favourite fruit?
Apples. Yeah.
At least you didn't give us avocados and pawpaws like everybody else does. You're just an apple man.
Yeah, just an apple man, straight out apples.
Well, Bailey, I'll give you this question. How do you like these apples? Well, ratings override tempo in the country club's decider. So you've got all the good horses drawn off the second row. Now, a lot of people think they'll make a mid-race move. I don't see any one of them desperate to want to go first. So is it going to be your Belmont Royales, your Cherokee Joes and your Foolish Pleasures just dominating the race through class? Or maybe can those front row runners get a breather and maybe make it mathematically impossible for the big guns?
Yeah, I mean, you got horses like Night School and that off the front line, and I think he's got a little bit of class about him. Usually driven aggressively in that, but apart from that, off the front line, it's not an exceptionally front line. You've got, apart from To the Max that can fly the arm, but I can't see a lot of them, all wanting to just be willing to hand up. So I think there'll be a little bit of tempo early, and but I think late, it's going to be probably Cherokee Joe's going to follow Belmont Royale wherever he goes, and he's probably it seems like a bit of a Sugar's race and Sugar's job to get it done.
Andy, I haven't heard this term before. Is it a Sugar's race?
Yeah.
Is it a Sugar's race?
No.
What do you think? Is it a Sugar's race? Is it a sweet race? Is it a sour race? Savoury? What are you thinking?
Race, obviously, the high rate at once all drawn the back row, but I think there's a couple of horses off the front row, Night School and Wingate Guy, obviously have winning hopes. Just depends where they sort of lob in transit. To the Max generally wants to sort of hold up in front. It's got pretty good gate speed, but the class is off the back row. Cherokee Joe, Belmont Royale, Morrison Stream, Foolish Pleasure. They're all sort of pretty capable horses and probably going to go on a bit further than the ones off the front row. But like everything, it's always tempo related. But it is a burning question, so I'll go with the back row getting the job done over the front row.
I thought you were going to give me an answer, and you've been doing this a little bit lately. You've been sitting on the fence saying, well, it's a really tough question. They're burning questions. I've told you this a million times before, but we've got to answer them. Have you been a bit busy referring to notes? It's the first time I've ever seen you look down at notes before a form guide.
iPad, I just generally go by memory, but it's not helping me.
Gator, thoughts?
Yes, I think the back row runners with the higher ratings will be the class, and we'll get the job done this week. Bon, I just think if the tempo does slacken, we heard from Jeff Webster this morning. I think Belmont Royale, they won't be afraid to put him in the race, and he was terrific first up. Obviously had to come wide and from back, and couldn't do any more than win, and that's what he did. So he looks a quality horse, and Cherokee Joe's another one who's racing in terrific form. We saw him park and just go down in the heat. So again, I don't think Greg will be afraid to put him into the race if the tempo slackens. So I think they're definitely the horses to beat off the back row.
I think they'll get the job done, but I am a little bit worried they'll all sit back and play ducks and drakes. But it's a Sugar's race, so I'm thinking that he or maybe Belmont Royale might get the job done. Question 3 of BQ. Happy Easter, everybody. It's the Easter edition. It's brought to us by APG. Go to apgold.com.au. I'll go to you first this time, Bailey, because you've got a drive in this race. Just how good is Helluva, and will he beat the draw? And I guess the secondary question here is just how good is Bonnie Bell?
Yeah, she was real good last start. Obviously, I didn't drive her. The old man jumped on. But yeah, Helluva looks to have a lot of ability. So it's just a matter of if he gets everything right. In the past he's done things wrong, and second up he might be racing with a little bit more heat in his mouth. So he might be wanting to go. So it'll be interesting how they play it. But yeah, obviously Bonnie Bell's not blistering off the gate. So, but if she happened to get to the front, she could run a cheeky race with some strong sectionals.
Can you see her at the top of her head when you get in the car? She's very small, isn't she? She's a little thing.
Yeah, she's tiny. Yeah, you're looking down over her.
Have you got one bit of furniture? Is that a little couch just in case you want to go in the spare room and just do a little bit of quiet thinking? Do you just get in the couch in the blank room and just sort of consider life? Is that what that's all about?
Yeah. No, it's just a manifesting room. Yeah, just try and work out my career.
Manifesting room. What a debut from Bailey McDonough. Right, Andy, I'm shook. How good's Helluva? Can he beat the draw? Who do you like in the race?
I think Helluva's definitely one to beat. He was quite impressive first up, and you think he'd be a little bit better for the run. Saying that, these heats and finals are always a little bit tricky because you've got horses that are in pretty good form. Obviously, that's why they've qualified. So he'll need a little bit of tempo early, but he's probably the only horse in the race that can probably make his own luck, to my mind. So, yeah, I think he's definitely the one to beat. It's a nice field, and a lot of these horses in 6 months' time will be sort of racing the metropolitan level at a more often than what they are at the moment. So, yeah, I'm sticking with Helluva. I think he's good enough to get the job done.
Well, I went through the winners. I spoke about them on the on Trots Live today. For the EK Bray, we've got like My Coconut, Albert Jackie, General Dodge, and Code Bailey. Somehow Caribbean Blaster snuck into a country clubs championship and brained them. Like, I don't know how you got him into that race, but anyway, well done, Andy. I'm causing terror in Major Dan recently. So these are great pathway races, Skeeter, but are you as keen on Helluva as I am?
Maybe not as keen, Bond, but I still definitely think he's the horse to beat. I think he can overcome that draw. He was obviously terrific first up, and that was his first run since the 4th of December. So he had a fair time off the scene, and you, as Andy said, would think that he will be better for that run. So I think he's definitely the horse to beat, and he's also aided by the fact that there's so many go-forward horses on the front row. So I think that it could be quite keen early. Everyone will be wanting to find a position. So if they do go a pretty quick lead time and Helluva's there, I just think he's versatile enough to get the job done, and he probably at this stage looks the most progressive type in the race.
I just really like the horse. I don't know why. I've just got a little bit of affection for him. I like the horse. He makes me go in that deep tone. Question 4, the burning questions, is brought to us by Felvo Fruit, specialists in table grapes. So there are no apples for you there from Felvo. You have to go to the Fresh Connection for your apples, but Felvo Fruits, they love their table grapes. They've been doing it since the 60s. Michael and Josie Felvo, they're keeping the tradition going. God bless their cotton socks, and everyone loves their grapes. I do. Keep an eye out for Felvo Fruits. You know you'll love them. Skeeter, who will lead this fast class pace? None of them generally do much leading. And can speed kill regardless? And we'll talk to Bailey in a moment, but let's rock, let's roll. Shorty's made. What they can do in their final 400 metres is outrageous, but can they get there from draws where they're probably likely to go back at the start?
Yeah, it's a really, really even race. I think there's absolutely nothing between pretty much the whole field, and I could make a case for every single horse. So I've gone with draw here basically, and I think Lovin' a Chevy has the gate speed to hold everyone out, and then from there Lance can decide what to do, and probably be a little bit picky and choosy with who he hands up to. Lovin' a Chevy hasn't led himself for a long time, so this looks a winnable race. Does Lance even try and lead all the way with Lovin' a Chevy? That's I think that's a real possibility as well. So yeah, really, really tough one, but I think Lovin' a Chevy has the gate speed to hold up early and then make a decision from there. And worst case, he's going to be leaders back, I think.
Yeah, Bailey told you, psychological safe space. Let's rock, let's roll was one that you ran off the gate. And I may have been a touch critical. I don't think you'll be doing that on Saturday night, but he's so fast that he might be able to win regardless. It's a very weird race, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think at some point there has to be pressure. I don't think it's just going to be a quarter race. So I think he's going to be quick enough in the end. It just depends, if there's too many coming out underneath him and he ended up shunted off the track, then it's going to be a lot harder. But yeah, I just completely right off last run. As you said, the drive, you probably were right, a little bit too aggressive. But yeah, no, I think he's been working good at home, and he's back to his best. So playing off that, yeah, I think there needs to be some sort of tempo, but I think he's got the quickest last quarter in his legs, and hopefully that fruits on Saturday night.
Even a stop clock is right twice a day. Bailey, now, just quickly before I get to Andy, is it red or green apple? Do you have a favourite? Are you a Granny Smith man? Pink ladies?
Yeah, pink ladies.
Yeah, he's a pink lady. I would have tipped that as well, so that would have been right twice. Andy, thoughts here? I probably don't agree with Bailey. I think they just will run a quarter. I think it'll just be a 400-metre race, really, and I think it might suit my old mate, the veteran Lovin' a Chev.
Yeah, I think Lovin' a Chevy will lead first, yeah, I'm sure he'd be the first leader. And again, just depending on pressure too, I don't think there's a lot of pressure in the race. He might decide to hold the lead. He's going well enough at the moment in this type of field to sort of hold up and try and sort of chance his arm. Yeah, it's a tricky little race. Yeah, not a lot of enforcers in this race. So, yeah, I think he's probably the one to beat. Let's Rock, Let's Roll. We know he's got terrific speed, but I'm not sure where the tempo is going to come from. Yeah, just one thing with Love in a Chevy. How many times have you been to Melton, Jabon, in your career?
I would say 120.
Yeah, Love in a Chevy's been there 137 times, so he's been there more times than.
He's done the right thing by me a lot of times as well. We share a lot in common. It's been really wonderful, the association that we have had, and I genuinely actually think he can win the race. And if McLovin wins and Love in a Chevy wins, what a night for the Greybeards, Andy.
Yeah, and the trainers too got a bit of age on them as well.
Now, if I looked up the search history in that iPad, would it be nothing but harness racing? Do you occasionally look up Google News, find out what's happening in the world? Do you check out a film every now and then? You go on Netflix, or is it just harness racing in different jurisdictions?
Just harness racing, New Zealand, Australia. That's about it. It's pretty boring.
You're a versatile man, Andy. Right, best bets. We'll start with you, Bailey. Who's your best on the program?
Mighty Flying Art in race 4.
Mighty Flying Art in race 4. Now, you can't leave us just with that. We would like some elaboration and some extrapolation while you're in the manifestation room.
No, I think I drove him wrong last time over the mile. He didn't suit that just walk and sprint. He just got left for dead, and trying to angle him into the sprint lane just left him lamenting a little bit. But I think Saturday night he can hold up and he can roll along, and he shows that's how he raced best in Menangle. So I think he can reel off some slick quarters and some solid quarters, sorry. And there's probably a few horses there that are going to get in Selectic's way. So
no matter how hard Aussie Battler comes at you to shaking the head from BM?
I'm not driving it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's true. Who is driving it?
Shannon O'Sullivan.
Well, you'll be giving in. Well, you'll be talking it over anyway. No doubt about it. It sounds like there'll be a shake of the head. Skeeter, we've got exactly the same best bet. So we might. Do you want to do it in harmony or what?
No, well, I'm going to change, Bon. After discovering that.
You want to be with me?
Yeah, I was with you, and then that scared me a little bit with having the same best bet as you, Bon. So I'm going to change tact a little bit. And after speaking to Jeff Webster earlier today, got a little bit more confidence in Bromwich. So I'm going to go race 3, and not sure what odds we'll get, but I think he can run a really good race.
For those that missed Trots Live today, I haven't even got it in my early quaddie, by the way, at the moment. I made it about 8th pick. But Bromwich, apparently Jeff Webster's best chance. He's got Belmont Royale in the Country Clubs Championship, and he's also got tuppence going around in the first leg of the quaddie. So might have to reassess that. Delightful Mia is my best in the program. Never has there been a race for a horse more than this. Leads, short trip, no pressure, wins. I'll finally get back on track. Skeeter's been killing us lately, Andy. You were the king. I remember when you were the king. It's like, what's that? Viva La Vida by Coldplay. I remember when you held the throne, but it's been taken over by the Queen at the moment. Can you bounce back? What do you got for us?
Yeah, no, I found a pretty tricky program, and I'm actually going to go with Kiss Me Elvis. I know it's a tricky draw, but I just thought, it could be a bit of heat on in the race, and yeah, I think it'd be good odds. So Kiss Me Elvis is my best bet.
3 poles?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's where it would be.
All right. Quickly, does Evan Mateo hold the front? Yes.
I'd say so.
What do you reckon, Skeeter? I think it'll hand up.
I was leaning towards handing up this week, yep, after it didn't work out leading last week.
Question without notice. Bailey, Evan Mateo, first leg of the quaddie, does she lead or does she lead and hand up to maybe an Aussie Playboy or a tuppence?
Yeah, I think she leads and hands up. After last week, she was found out a little bit, and probably not a strong race, and the pressure is not there. But I think she has to hand up this week.
All right, school's out. That's been Burning Questions. We've had some fun. Have a great Easter. Racing on Good Friday. Sacrilegious. We're all going to hell. I was already going there. Now everyone's going with me. I'll catch you there when we get there. Make sure to enjoy your families and enjoy the punt. Well done to Bailey McDonough. Well done to Andy Gath. Well done to Nikkita Ross. And always, most well done to me. Au revoir. Good punt.